Welcome to the Cantina Chatter podcast. Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm Victoria, your host here on the Cantina Chatter podcast, your resource for Star Wars, new and retro toys, pop culture, and randomness from the 80s and 90s. All right, you know what? I just started recording. You can't be barking. Hello, Tom. Come in.
Hey there, Victoria. How are you doing? How's your health?
I'm doing okay. I'm just, trying to muscle my way through this whole pandemic, as it's been called.
Yeah. It's not just a board game anymore.
It's not. This is a real world situation. This is live. This is ongoing. This is getting worse. And,
yeah.
We can only do so much to get through it, I guess.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. Well, it's time we talk about some really important stuff related to that terrible pandemic.
Yeah, let's distract ourselves from the coronavirus by talking about toys for a minute.
Yay, toys! Toys are fun.
And how they are affected by the coronavirus. Yeah.
Yeah, as we suspected a couple months ago when it was starting to come through. Yeah. It's interesting. I'm in the camp that not Star Wars related, but I ordered my wife, as a gift for me, ordered the Super 7 Snake Mountain for the Masters of the Universe Classics. It was like almost a year ago. Maybe it was a year ago when she ordered it. It's, was originally slated to arrive in March. This March, then it was delayed to like April. Expected some delays, but now it's, we'll see when we get it, but that's what happens when the factories are all closed because of a horrible infectious disease.
Yeah, no, that's awesome that you're getting that. How big is the Snake Mountain?
If you've seen the sail barge, which I know you have, it's like the sail barge, but then if you tipped the sail barge on its axis as well.
All right, so it's big.
Yeah, it's big. It's really big. It's really big. Impractical is the way Mattel originally described it. And whereas everyone else was very excited that it was this giant, terrifying thing, I was once again in the camp that's like, no, just shrink it down and make it more manageable. But
sure. So this is this scaled for 5-inch figures, 6-inch figures?
They're the 6-ish inch figure line, almost 7-inch figure line for the Masters of the Universe Classics line. Okay. So not scaled for the original toys, but scaled for the modern ones.
Gotcha. Did I tell you my Snake Mountain story that has nothing to do with the toys?
No, tell me about Snake Mountain.
All right, Snake Mountains. Locally, here in San Diego, there is so there's a park. It's called Kate Sessions Park. It's named after this lady who was really into plants and trees and making beautifying with nature's beauty. So there's lots of areas named after her. She planted a lot of the stuff that's here in San Diego now from all over the world. So next to this park is kind of this hiking trail. It's there's signs posted that say, careful, there could be rattlesnakes in here. And so I'm going to tell you about the day that my fear of snakes began. So this park and this hiking trail is kind of situated on a bit of a mountain. And, one day my husband, who, he was my boyfriend, this was quite a while back. This was probably like 8 years ago. We were walking this trail and I was taking pictures because, I like taking pictures and just taking pictures of whatever I could find, plants and, just cool looking stuff on the trail. And, I was down on my knees taking pictures. I stood up, I turned around, started walking, and then I felt something on my leg that just stopped me in my tracks. And when I looked down, curled up right there was a rattlesnake.
Oof.
Yeah. And I don't think that the snake touched me. I think that there was some sort of like built-in like biomechanism within myself that kind of sensed it, and
Uh-huh.
it caused me to pause and look down, and that's when I saw the snake. Because had I taken one more step, Tom, I would have stepped on the snake.
Oh dear, that's bad for both of you.
Bad for both of us. Snake probably would have freaked out. I would have freaked out. It would have bit me. I would have ran off. And, luckily, thank goodness I saw it. And I still freaked out and I ran off. And I, was yelling at my husband, like, hey, I was like crying. I was like, I just saw a snake. We need to go. We need to go. We need to go. And so we did. And, he really wanted to go back later that day. And I was like, hell no, I ain't going back to that place. And he's like, he's like, what will make you go back? And I was like, maybe a grape snow cone. And he got me a grape snow cone. And then we went back. And when we got back, there were signs posted. Somebody had written a sign that they had seen a rattlesnake on the trail.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, which confirmed, because my husband, I think he was a little skeptical. I think this kind of confirmed that, somebody else had seen it too. And ever since that time, this place has been known as Snake Mountain.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. That's sorry you freaked out about the snake. If I saw a rattlesnake, I'd be nervous too, even though I love snakes. I adore them. At our office, there's our office is sort of a live-work studio for the owner. So he lives in the upstairs area, and he's got a family that stays there. And one of the members of his family has a albino snake. Gosh, I'm so bad with them. Is it a boa constrictor? Maybe. I'm terrible with the different types of them. But it's a big albino snake, and sometimes she'll bring it downstairs, and I'll get to drape the snake over me, and it just like slithers all over me, and I'm just the happiest pea in a pod. Wow. It's a beautiful, beautiful creature. Pink eyes, just so precious. But that it's a friendly snake, not a rattlesnake.
You're braver than I.
Well, you wouldn't get me anywhere near a tarantula. So
that's funny.
Yeah, Snake Mountain.
Snake Mountain. So today we're going to be talking about the coronavirus and its effect on the toy industry, its effect on toy collecting, and I mean, there's really no escaping the reaches of the coronavirus. It's impacting everything, even if it's not impacting you personally or, maybe your family or your immediate area. I mean, you're going to feel the effects in some way or another, whether it's probably economical. I think that's the biggest thing that we're going to be seeing. But, there's no doubt that it is certainly affecting everything right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's not impacting you yet, it will be soon.
Right.
It's, we're like, I think we're consistently about 10 days behind what Italy is like. And Italy, everyone is quarantined right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I know we're a much more spread out country. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for something like this. And, there's just all kinds of things here that, stack one next to the other where we're very different, but, we're all humans too. So, you would expect that, whatever feelings people might be having about the coronavirus in Italy, we could see something similar like that here.
Yeah, it's a safe bet that we're going to be in a similar sort of situation.
Yeah, I'm off work. I'm a teacher. I have, our school district closed. We were already going to be going into spring break for these, not this week, but the next 2 weeks. So I'm at a total of 3 weeks off right now. Not that that's inherently a bad thing. I mean, for the kids, it's a bad thing because, we're kind of in a spot where, there were a lot of things we were working on and, a lot of goals that we were kind of in a hurry to try and reach. But, the situation is what it is. Like I said, it's affecting everybody. I think you're kind of in a similar boat, aren't you?
Sort of. I work as a digital media producer. So we're all working remote, but like 50% of the people, or even more than that I deal with all the time anyway, have always been remote. So it, just means my wife has to put up with me here at home more. Because we're all remote now. I think it's looking like that's going to stay the case until the middle of April at least. But current suggestions from the CDC are suggesting it's going to be might end up being stretching out to be about 8 weeks. So we'll see. We had plans to go visit my parents in South Carolina in April. Those are, of course, now canceled. But yeah, I mean, I'm able to continue working, but it's all very different. As of today, New York City's like shut down all like bars and restaurants with the exception of like takeout orders. I think it's a little confusing. Broadway closed down on Friday. So it's gonna get real weird. It's already starting to seem eerie here, but it's gonna get even weirder.
It is. Yeah, and we had other things lined up too. My husband had a work conference this week that was supposed to be in Phoenix, and that got canceled, late last week. We had a wedding we were going to go to in Vegas next weekend, and that's being canceled today. So,
Yep.
Can you imagine that, having to cancel your wedding?
That's heartbreak. That would be absolute heartbreak.
It is. That's
Yeah. But, smart. It's a good decision. They made the right decision. They could really be risking things right now.
They could, and the last thing you want anybody to remember about your wedding is that they got infected with coronavirus.
Right,
so.
Yeah,
A gift for the honeymoon.
COVID-19, enjoy that.
Yeah, COVID-19 fermenting in your wine cellar since December 2019.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Imported straight from China or Italy or Washington State, wherever you're getting it from these days.
Yeah, Italian blend. Yeah, who knows?
Boy.
Yeah, fresh out of the wine country of California, Napa wine. Anyway, so this is affecting everything. We wanted to talk a little bit about what's going on. So, I reached out on Twitter yesterday, just started asking people like, hey, this is our favorite hobby, toy collecting. That's obviously what we're constantly talking about. We're talking about toys, talking about, everything that we like to do with toys. We like to, make videos of them, all that sorts of stuff. So I thought I would ask people, how is it, affecting what you're doing? So I'm just going to read through a few of these. Jurassic Dave 93 didn't want to go to any stores this weekend. This is odd for me. I have been picking up more online. Greg saying online only for me right now, sadly. But if the Albertosaurus from Mattel's Jurassic World line showed up, the new one, I'd be putting on a hazmat suit and heading out. Aaron Toy Shelf Review says, no change for me. Couldn't find much in stores before, and that's still the same, just expanded to other household items. Yes, those household items are nearly impossible to find.
Yeah.
How's that like in your area, by the way?
It's pretty similar here. You're talking about toilet paper and Purell and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty well. Lena and I, my wife and I, we got a head start on this, prepping up for it a couple of weeks ago. Sort of seemed like this was likely to happen, so we stocked up on a bunch of supplies for just in case, like a quarantine becomes if the quarantine becomes sort of like Italy, where only one person can go out of the house, like you have to have I think you have to have like a pass or something like that in order to be able to do it, and you can only get it's not like free normal grocery shopping right now, I don't think. Don't quote me on that, but should it become increasingly difficult to get basic like food supplies, we stocked up on that stuff, and we did a last minute stock up on toilet paper. And we did not get any Purell, but we've got plenty of soap and stuff like that. But yeah, our area is pretty well wiped out as well.
Yeah, it's bad. Belgian Jurassic says, stores other than food pharmacy don't open here on the weekends, expecting this to be final week before the big lockdown in Belgium. So yeah, Europe, this is pretty far reaching as well.
Yep.
Jason says, I was at Walmart today. A lot was gone, but that could have been due to new store layouts. But I will say it was eerily quiet, like everyone was listening to see who would cough. There wasn't even music playing. And this is something I can relate to. I went to Target yesterday morning, and same thing, no music playing. They had an outdoor queue set up, but the store was dead. The store was dead. There was nobody there. I think a lot of people are taking this seriously.
Yep.
Let's see.
Which is good.
Manny says, not at all. Mass panic is dumb. Let's see. Dusty says they are not putting out a lot of stock in the SLC area. Kind of stopped looking this weekend, but found the new Jurassic World Snap Squad, but that is it. Let's see. George says it's still looking like nothing happening. Been to 3 Walmarts and a Target, and they all have papers. So, LOL. I don't know if this stuff is real or a bunch of BS. Well, it's real, obviously. You've shared your experience, Tom.
Yeah, just make certain you've don't hoard these things, but make certain you've got enough for just in case you've got a 2-week period where you're not going outside.
Yeah,
that's all.
Totally.
Just make certain you've got that.
I mean, there could be some areas where it's, people aren't like, quite as worried. But I think the area that this person lives in, it doesn't seem like it's quite as, there aren't any cases confirmed there from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Still got time.
No,
it's I mean, if there's stuff, take advantage and at least get for yourself, or family or whatever. But like here, it's like, you can't go anywhere and find toilet paper. Like that's gone, like bottled water's gone. When I was at Target yesterday, they were actually like, they had a station set up where they were like, rationing out the gallon water, one per person.
Yep.
And they don't have soap, they don't have Purell, they don't have the masks. Those have been gone for a long time now. Even things like bread is gone. People are going for all the canned goods. They barely had any of that. And people are just they're panicking. They're starting to buy things just because there's a lot of uncertainty right now, and you can't blame people for not being sure, but there's also a wise way to go about it. I think I don't think we need to it's not a nuclear fallout that's going to be coming pretty soon, but it's still something you want to be prepared for in any case, and at least have, like you said, at least a couple of weeks supplies on hand.
Yeah, is like, should you come down with the symptoms, you're supposed to self-isolate and quarantine yourself for 2 weeks. So you want to make certain, like, that's not going out to buy some supplies. If you've got a friend that can maybe go out and get stuff for you and drop it by your door, take advantage of that. I'm imagining a lot of people will be doing that sort of thing for one another. But, make certain you're able to be self-sufficient just in case. That's what we did, and, until I need to, dive into that stuff, I'll continue to try and go outside and get some fresh supplies, fresh meat or some fresh veggies or something like that. But
sure.
I honestly don't know if, tomorrow afternoon I find out that's it for our area. Like it all has happened very, very quickly here. We all kind of got the impression Thursday that this was going to happen pretty soon. So when we went to the grocery store, it was an hour line in it, just to get to through the cash register, which we were fine with. It's like, okay, that's what's going to happen. That is what it is. But, when these sorts of things, when the announcements happen, they happen very, very quickly. So, what was that?
I think it was a car that went by.
Oh, huh. It's a weird sound. Yeah, so it all happens very quickly, so you just want to be ready just in case.
Yeah, just in case. And I mean, we just don't really know. I mean, even though, you might think, well, people are dumb because they're stocking up and they're hoarding things, which, there is some truth to that, but because they're doing that, when you need something, you're not going to be able to get it if you're not at least, buying for a couple of weeks worth of supplies.
Yeah, I've already seen, some of the people who were sort of mocking it online now not being able to find supplies. And it's like, yeah, that's yeah. Again, we didn't go out and hoard anything. I think that sort of thing, it's not going to be years of this stuff. It's like 2 weeks worth of supplies. Just 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah. Let's see. Paul says, little to no impact for me. I don't go on many toy runs these days, and even less frequently do I actually find anything, which, we can relate to that, right? I mean, the stores, depending on what you're collecting, they seldom get, the good stuff. So, I mean, that's been the trend for, years, more and more online. And so, that's probably magnified somewhat because of the virus. And I'm sure that'll get worse. And we'll talk about that just a little bit. Adam Bray, the author of Star Wars and Marvel, he says, I don't know yet. I only do toy hunts once a week when I run my other errands, so not yet. I get the impression a lot of people will switch to online shopping in general, but the problem is that 2-day or less shipping could facilitate long distance transfer of the virus. I don't know about that. Have you heard about the virus being like transferred like through packages or through shipping?
I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me on this, but it can last on hard surfaces for, I think, a few days.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, let me, you know something? How about you let me look that up?
Yeah, let's look that up. We don't like, we're not here to spread misinformation. We want to have our ducks in a row before we say anything.
According to NPR article from February 3rd, no, you won't catch the new coronavirus via packages or mail from China.
I think his question is like Amazon, like 2-day shipping. If somebody packs your package that has it. Here's one from CBS News. It says, no, you won't contract coronavirus from a package you receive in the mail. Whether it's across the U.S. or overseas, experts say there's no reason to worry. It's extremely unlikely that the illness could ever be transmitted that way. It says, while it is theoretically possible that the virus could be present on the surface of a package, experts say it wouldn't last long, and that it is highly improbable due to the length of journey and the harsh conditions it would face en route.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, that's good to know. So it sounds like you probably won't get coronavirus through Amazon Prime, but no doubt it is affecting Amazon Prime in a lot of ways, the speed at which you might get your package. So if you have that concern, maybe that's actually a good thing for you because you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer to get that package and more of a chance that any virus that's in or on it will be dead.
Yeah.
Unless your mailman has it and coughs in your package right before you open it. But yeah, we're kind of we're getting out there now. So.
Yeah. Okay, so that's good news. You probably can't catch it through delivery and packages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was worried about that because I'd seen something about it lasting on surfaces, but maybe it doesn't last on surfaces for long, or maybe it can only last on a surface inside your household if you're touching it every 5 seconds. I don't know.
No doubt it is affecting Amazon. Like, we usually get the bulk of our groceries through Amazon Fresh, and that's always been same day. Like in some cases you could schedule it like within like a couple of hours to be delivered, and the order I placed really early on Sunday morning isn't even going to get here until tomorrow, Tuesday. So
yeah,
they're really backed up.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I was looking online at some of the. Generally, I still just go to grocery stores, but when we stocked up a couple of weeks ago, we bought a bunch of canned goods from Amazon, and even at that point, they were already starting to limit the numbers that you could order. And that was probably 2 weeks ago. So. Yeah, Amazon 2-day shipping might not always end up being 2-day shipping these days. We'll see.
We'll have to go back to 2005 or something.
That was back when I refused to shop online. All my toy hunts were actual in-person things. I'd go to the store every few days. There was a Toys R Us I could walk to in Queens. So like every 2 days I would go there looking for Rum Sleg or Klieg Holdfast. And they never got them. But since a little bit after that, I'd switched all of my hunting to online, which is not as much fun, but is really the only way I can be convinced I'm going to get the stuff I want. So this is all pretty normal for me.
Yeah, so like unless you're like Mattel Jurassic World or Spin Master Batman, you're not going to go to the store and just find a bunch of toys. I don't know how those companies are doing, and it's still selling through, especially Mattel Jurassic. It's still selling like hotcakes. Kids are buying it. I mean, everybody loves dinosaurs. I guess that's what it is. But
yeah, everybody loves dinosaurs. You can't go wrong with dinosaurs.
You can't go wrong, and they're always well stocked. Like generally, like some Walmarts aren't carrying Jurassic World anymore, but Target is pretty much on point most of the time. So. That is good. That is good.
Well, it looks like the filming of the new Jurassic World just got postponed.
Yeah, it did. They called off production right now for I don't know if there was a set period of time. Probably not because it's a movie. But it's I guess until things get better. But I mean that's the last thing you want, right? You're filming a movie, somebody gets it, spreads it to everybody else, the actors get it, and then you can't have a movie.
Oh, so, yeah.
Yeah, being proactive. That's the key here.
That's the big weird thing about this whole thing is it's a lot of being very proactive to try and prevent this thing. Flattening the curve is what they call it, right?
Yep.
Trying to prevent, if it gets bad, prevent the healthcare organizations from being overwhelmed, spreading it
Right.
out so that it can all be taken care of in time.
Yep.
Yeah, let's be proactive. Hey, I mean, if we're all toy collectors, that means we probably have a whole bunch of toys at our houses that we can enjoy those for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, go back to that figure you bought, 2 months ago and, start fiddling with it again because that's how most of my toys are. Like, oh, it's the brand new toy, I got it, and then I'll play with it and do a video or take pictures, and then it goes on the shelf, and I don't really think about it anymore, for a
I
while.
know. Yeah.
So, yeah, I forgot what we were talking about.
We're talking about online shopping.
Oh,
How does it affect your toy hunts? And for me, it doesn't because I'm an online person anyway, which is admittedly a bummer. To everyone else out there that gets to go on toy runs to Walmarts and Targets and stuff like that, I envy that, and that was a lot of fun. That was a
yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's like I said a little while ago, that's kind of been the reality for a lot of us. We've turned more consistently to online shopping because, stores just aren't what they used to be. And so I mean, in that respect, if you're still buying online, that I don't think that's really changed. The shipping time might change, and how quickly it gets shipped out might change, but toys are still available online. Like, if you are possibly at risk of having contracted the virus, or maybe somebody that has it even around them, then it's probably best to avoid stores and just buy online for the time being.
Yeah, especially given that it's impossible to find things at stores anyway.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's really tricky.
Speak
It's really tricky.
It is. So this article came out just a couple of days ago. It says that Hasbro closes offices worldwide due to coronavirus threat. Other employers begin work from home. This is from the Providence Journal. So yeah, this was new. Hasbro is closing its offices. This is in reaction, of course, to the coronavirus pandemic. And those that can work from home are, but for all other intents and purposes, the offices are shut down. So, yeah, Hasbro is closed.
Yep. I don't know how that'll affect people's Hasbro Pulse orders, but I would anticipate delays there.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, that I don't know. They haven't put anything out, so I'm not sure if the factory itself or like the shipping warehouse is like maybe like a separate facility in a different location. Actually, I think we can answer this right now because Tom, as you know, before we started recording today, I told you that my Star Wars: The Mandalorian Imperial Troop Transport from the Vintage Collection had just arrived. Like just as soon as we started talking, it got delivered. So
Yeah.
that, by the way, the box looks freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't wait to open that up. I think I'm going to do a review on that one.
You gotta do a review on that.
Yeah, I got plenty of troopers for it. So
You got the new troopers, the remnant troopers?
I don't have the remnant ones, but I have the previous Rogue One Stormtrooper. I have I have like 10 of those, so I've got enough. I've got enough. All right, let's see. So the package just came in says that it shipped from Jonestown, Pennsylvania. So Hasbro, their offices are in Rhode Island, so I don't think the Hasbro closure is going to necessarily affect this particular factory shipping out product, but whether or not that factory has its own, or whether or not that warehouse itself has its own protocol, is a possibility, and that might affect, things getting shipped out. But I guess until Hasbro Pulse officially like sends like an email out or something, like we'll just assume that it's still operating.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And again, I'm when it comes to these online orders, I'm content to just be patient. Snake Mountain, we ordered like over a year. Remember the sail barge? The sail barge took over a year to come. And we got it. It's awesome. Patience.
Patience, young Padawan.
I'm always so much happier when I know that I've paid for the thing. It's gonna come in due time. Then I don't have to fret about it. Because if I don't get that specific toy that I ordered, that I wanted to order, then I get really worked up because my priorities in life make sense.
I can totally relate to that. Um, yeah, so that is pretty big. I don't know if Mattel or any of these other companies are closing their offices. I looked, I didn't see anything online regarding them. I know that it has affected Mattel's factories, or yeah, out in. So Mattel owns some of their own factories that they use to produce their products, which is kind of unique, I think.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And yeah, so that has affected their actual factories, and we know that because there are publications about that online, like Nasdaq's website has an article about how they have shuttered some of their factories, largely because of what's going on with coronavirus. So I think, we both saw those articles too earlier this month saying, oh, Baby Yoda is going to be affected. People aren't going to be
Right.
able to get their Baby Yoda after all. And I think Hasbro actually came out and said shortly after all that was going on that, oh no, most of our production on that toy is done, so, which is a good thing if you pre-ordered, any of these countless Baby Yoda toys that are going to be hitting soon or hopefully hitting soon.
Well, I
But
wouldn't
yeah,
count on
so
soon now, but
yeah, supposed to be hitting soon.
right. Yeah, I think this is the sort of thing where it's just gonna be delayed a bit. It might be delayed by a couple months. Which we saw the Baby Yoda stuff. When was that? That was already over a month ago, wasn't it? So like, time moves
Yeah,
quickly. There's
yeah.
people
No,
outside.
I think we saw some of that like right after like maybe December, January. We started seeing stuff
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like the Black Series figure and some of those earlier toys.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean it definitely seems like with these factories being affected and the offices too being affected, at least in terms of Hasbro, that any waves of toys that maybe should have hit like in May or something, probably might have to hold out a little bit for those. Hopefully they'll hit, I'm just throwing out numbers or dates here, but hopefully like July, August maybe.
Right. Yeah. And certainly long before Christmas, I would presume.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just going to be delays on some of these things a bit. And in all honesty, hasn't most of the time that we're expecting a toy to come out at a certain point in time, it ended up being delayed anyway.
Oh
With
yeah,
the
almost
exception,
always.
with the exception of Count Dooku, he showed up, I think, right on shipping schedule for him.
Can we talk about Dooku for just a second?
All right, Victoria, let's talk about Count Dooku, the most
Yeah,
popular Sith Lord ever.
the most popular. I gotta talk about this figure for I just gotta inject him into this episode because I'm not doing a review on him. If you're looking for a review on the figure, I'd hit up Toy Bro. He's got a good review.
Yeah,
But yeah, this figure, Tom, like, would you rank this a top 5 Black Series figure?
no question. I question whether this is like the best one that they've done. He's that good, and Count Dooku is just no one's favorite Sith Lord.
Yeah.
But he just looks. It looks like they shrunk the late great Christopher Lee's face just perfectly down. And it's a stunning figure. If anyone out there that likes these things, even a passing enjoyment on them, you should get Black Series Count Dooku. Just incredible.
It's amazing figure, and I don't say that lightly. When you review toys, you get selective, you get picky, you start finding things to talk about, and this isn't a perfect figure, but I think it's close as you can reasonably expect from Hasbro, in Black Series, because they've no question they've gotten better over the last couple of years. Well, with photoreal and the plastics have gotten better. They're not quite as rubbery as they used to be, and they're getting a lot better. This Dooku figure is like the epitome of like what a Black Series figure should be. I think it's
Yeah.
like you said, the likeness is pretty close to perfect. I don't really know how they could make it look better than it does. The plastic's nice and rigid. The articulation, it's got some different engineering from previous Black Series. Like you probably noticed, like the knees are in like ball hinges rather than those double bends.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Which
Oh, yeah.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that because you can't see those pins.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
and I'm happier with this type of joint. I don't think it needs to be able to like bend his leg all the way backward because those knees just don't look right ultimately
Yeah.
when you do that. So this is good. This looks awesome. And what about those accessories?
The extra lightsaber blade is just the coolest thing. I haven't used it at all yet because I just have him kind of standing in his ready to duel pose. But the new lightsaber where it's got a slight motion blur to it is a really, really clever idea, and I hope they start including that with everything.
Yeah.
I'm bummed that he doesn't come with a lightning shooting hand, but I'm so overjoyed that he has a soft goods cape rather than I really don't like plastic capes. Like, I really don't like them. They hinder the movement on figures so much that it just always bums me out. And Count Dooku's cloak here, his cape rather, is just perfection. So, yeah, that's my take on those accessories. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. I'm going to complain about the one thing that I keep complaining about with these is that the detachable blade on the lightsaber, those are terrible. Like, I always feel like I'm going to break it.
Yeah, I've broken one.
Yeah, you told me. And they're not even straight. Like, when you have them plugged in, they're kind of like crooked, you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But the accessory it comes with, though, is awesome. I love the swoosh. That, it's kind of what Hot Toys has been doing for a while. And it's really awesome to see Hasbro doing it because you don't really see that, with 6-inch figures, and the fact that, Hasbro did it here, it's going to kind of spoil us. It's going to kind of make us want every lightsaber equipped figure to come with this from now on. So
that's right. It is. That's definitely going to do that.
Only other thing I could say is the cape maybe seems a little flimsy, but it actually drapes pretty nicely on the figure.
Yeah, I like the cape a lot. I mean, I don't know like what else I would do to try, because sometimes I'll try and make custom capes. I've made a few for the Emperor over time, but this guy's one it's really nice. The material is nice, so that way it doesn't look like it's gonna fray, and they didn't have to do a seam around the edge, which lets it be thinner.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what else you would do. You'd have to get probably some really expensive fine cloth to do an improvement on this.
Sure.
Yeah, I love it. I'm crazy about it.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful figure. In fact, that whole wave is just pretty stellar.
Who are the other ones in the wave?
There's Zori Bliss, Knight of Ren, and
Bly, Clone Commander Bly, right?
Commander Bly.
Mm-hmm. I think I ordered the Knight of Ren, so he'll show up at some point. Have you gotten yours yet?
Yep, I've opened all of them, and they're all great. Knight of Ren's probably my least favorite because I'm just not a huge fan of the design.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's got lots of really good movement at the neck and the head, and I really like Zori Bliss. I was a huge fan of that character, even though she barely did anything. I still really like the design, and
it's a good design. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is. So that's a really cool figure too. And then you can see her eyes. I think that's pretty cool.
That's a great addition to that figure.
It is.
That's smart that they decided to do that.
It is. So
I can't wait to get my Knight of Ren so that I can pose him into all those super memorable Knight of Ren poses.
I know, right? Yeah, those guys just kept busy the whole movie.
Man, what great characters. I'm debating on Commander Bly because Commander Bly looks great. At this point, though, I think the next clones I want would be Fives and Echo from the Clone Wars series. Commander Bly, I had to look online to be like, oh, right, he's the one that shoots Ayla Secura in the back.
Yeah, no, he's actually really good. Like, I think I don't know, something about the legs look a little bit different. I think they kind of re-engineered it a little bit. Cool. It just looks like physically like it has a better like proportion to it. So
nice.
Yeah, even if you're picking with the clones, I would definitely recommend Bly. I think he looks amazing.
All right, fair enough. I'll take that under advisement.
All right. So yeah, going back to coronavirus, womp womp.
Good old coronavirus.
Yeah.
Always good for a laugh.
Yeah, I wrote a song about coronavirus, and
did you?
I did, and it has like guitar and everything to it, but it's kind of, I don't want to be known for the coronavirus songs, so I'm not.
Oh, why not?
Come on, put it up on YouTube.
Is it fun? Is it like? I mean, I've got a great coronavirus song too. It's like coronavirus, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna die, we're all gonna die, coronavirus. Huh? What do you think?
Yeah. Why not?
No. Okay. I don't have the best singing voice.
I don't either. How will the coronavirus outbreak affect Hasbro Mattel? So this is something that we looked at a little bit earlier too. So this one here is talking about the bankruptcy of Toys R Us. And this comes from NASDAQ's website. So yeah, if you read through it a little bit, and I know I shared this with you, it says that, I'll read a little bit of it here. As it turned out, toy makers managed the loss of Toys R Us. Tariffs didn't crush the earnings, and a rebound was afoot. But in a fall report, the NPD group indicated that U.S. toy industry dollar sales would gain in 2020, and this positive momentum would continue through the entire year. But as the coronavirus outbreak worsened over the past few weeks, it became clear that 2020 may not be as bright for toy makers as some had hoped. So, Tom, this was a huge thing when Toys R Us closed. This was a huge outlet for toy manufacturers, especially smaller ones like NECA, and some of those toys that don't have their, or in the past didn't have their toys at Target or Walmart.
Yeah.
This was their outlet. This is how you would get those toys. Now, that was a huge hit to the industry. Some of those companies have been able to offer their toys through Walmart or Target, like NECA. But now, the industry as a whole is facing coronavirus. So, given that Toys R Us is out of the picture, and now everybody's having to contend with the fallout of this virus, how do you think it's going to affect some of these smaller companies?
I think some of these smaller companies are going to be doomed. I think they're not going to be able to survive through what's probably going to be a recession that's going to hit due to the coronavirus. But in the future, hopefully, like, things will come up to replace them, or they'll get their footing back again, like, in the future. But like, this is going to be a massive financial hit for so many people, like people that just want to go out to the stores to buy toys. They're not going to have the money because recession. I know it's sort of a muddy answer, but it's going to have a really drastic effect on the toy industry. Which is already sort of a shrinking thing anyway, as younger generations move towards digital content for their entertainment.
Sure.
So I think it might just, but it sort of felt like it's been shrinking for a while now anyway. So, I guess we might have to contend with further price increases when things come out later in the year. I think I'd seen rumors that GameStop started selling their Marvel Legends for $30 a pop. I don't know if that's everywhere or if that's just certain figures.
Yeah.
But those would be things that companies would do to try and recoup some of their losses.
Sure. It's a scary thing, like you said. I mean, recession is a real possibility. I mean, everybody's taking steps at this point. Everybody's been affected. The price of gas is dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
And we say that's a bad thing.
Well,
no, the price of gas is dropping.
Yeah, no, but oftentimes that is a barometer for how the economy is doing. And
yeah, it sure is.
Here in California, yesterday the governor requested that restaurants reduce their capacity by 50%, and that they make sure that they are deeply socially distancing,
Yep.
patrons. So, I mean, yeah, and that's you think about, a lot of restaurants that would probably not even be able to stay open if they only have 50% capacity. It's yeah.
And even if they have
Mm-hmm.
even if they have 50% capacity, what if no one's going and patroning?
Yeah.
What if no one's going to the restaurant because they've been wisely warned away from doing it? We're at the stay indoors period of time with this thing, in an effort to try and reduce slow the spread of it. So yeah, I think here in New York, the bars and restaurants are closed except for takeout orders. So
yeah. And this is food. This isn't like something less like important like toys. So you can only imagine.
Yeah. Well, but we're toy fans, so we're gonna talk and complain about the toys. But
yeah,
while
give
acknowledging
me my toys, give me my toy.
While acknowledging that there's bigger things out there.
like we'll work for toys. You hold up your sign, we'll work for toys.
My favorite thing is in the Facebook groups that I'm part of that are just at this point in time generally toy collecting groups of one variety or other. Seeing the will trade, Red Hulk is a red hot figure right now. So I've seen a lot of will trade Red Hulk for toilet paper.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
It's not. When push comes to shove, you can't clean yourself up with Red Hulk.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's where the Japanese are ahead of us.
Yes.
Like when I was there almost 3 years ago, 2017. It's just like they had toilet paper, like, but it was just kind of there, like, I guess because tourists were there, and also because maybe just as just to have it. But yeah, they're a little bit ahead of us in that respect.
Are they using bidets there?
Well, they have their own, their washing toilets. They.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The sprayers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll start adapting those over here, or adopting those over here rather.
Yeah, it's more civilized when when I don't know. I don't want to really get into that conversation.
Yeah, sure.
It seems a little more civilized to have, like, you're not going to get clean the same way from just toilet paper than you would if you were properly washing, I guess I'll say.
I agree.
Anyway.
So you just got to start making more videos, Victoria. That's what you've got to start doing. Like, don't say you're not going to review Count Dooku. Just give us a video of 5 minutes of you chatting about Count Dooku, having him have little fights with other characters or something like that. We're going to Hollywood's shutting the doors. We're not going to be able to get new episodes of CSI Miami for a while. So
no.
let's start getting more toy videos out there. We've got big collections of stuff. Just go nuts. Go crazy.
Yeah, no, that's part of the thing. I have extra time on my hands now, so it's kind of like I've told people, like, if you're like sequestered at home, like, use the time. I mean, it's not often that we're kind of forced to be at home. Make do of it. Catch up on that series you've been putting off, or watch more YouTube videos. Listen to the Cantina Chatter podcast.
That's right.
Or play with your toys. Really get to enjoy them. It's a good time for personal enrichment. Read a book.
Yeah.
I know not as many of us should, read as much as we should.
I'm behind on a couple.
Yeah, let's read. Let's watch videos. Let's play with our dogs. Let's catch up on those things that we've been putting off. Those hobbies, those projects. We have, some of us have time to do those things. Let's try and do it. Let's make do.
Yeah, just because it's a change in the way that we live our everyday lives doesn't mean it has to be entirely negative.
Right.
Yeah, plenty. We have the internet now. This isn't like, even 40 years ago if something like this happened. You can, still be connected with people. My wife was on a Skype or a WhatsApp chat with 4 of her friends from overseas in the UK and Italy yesterday. She had a chat with them for about 2 hours. Like, the friends in Italy, they're all in like the quarantine, sort of like they've been inside for a week now, kind of thing. It's all interesting, but yeah, it's not like we're isolated. We just are isolated.
No, that's awesome. And yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not like 1995 even, where, most of us didn't have the internet, and, it was just different times. We have the resources, the capacity to try and order food online.
Yep.
To stream.
You can get a new book online now. If you want to read a new book, you could just buy the book on your choice of digital reading platform.
Yeah, there's, we have things that we didn't have a long time ago. And, it's funny, like, the kids that I work with sometimes, they tell me how easily they get bored. It's like, how can you get bored? When I was a kid, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have some of these fancy video games. Like I had like a Nintendo Game Boy, and I played outside. They're like, "How did you survive?" It's like, we got by, we made it. I'm still here, so I survived. So,
Yeah, come on, kids these days. My Star Wars figures had 5 points of articulation. They couldn't bend their elbows. They could barely hold a lightsaber. Come on, you're spoiled these days with and you got video games too, which none of them are as good as the original Super Mario Brothers. But
right.
I tried to play. I bought that new PlayStation 4 Spider-Man game a couple weeks ago. I can't do anything in it because there's like, how many buttons are on this? There's 4 buttons there, and 4. That's 8 buttons, and then there's this directional pad and this 3 directional pads and 2 trigger buttons on each side and 4 normal buttons. I can't figure out how to do anything in it. But I've got the time to learn now. Maybe I can beat the first level on easy where I'm fighting Kingpin.
Yeah, no, that's there you go. I have a bad habit of starting video games and not finishing them. Like I started Jedi Fallen Order like in December, and I haven't picked it. Like I played it once, I haven't touched it since.
Yeah.
There's, I've always been terrible at that. Like I start a game and then it's not that it's not fun or that I don't like it. I just, I got so much going on that it's like, I don't find the time. But right now I have some time, and I have some time to catch up on some videos and some podcasts, and yeah, we're going to keep busy. And do you have any final thoughts as we wrap up this discussion on the coronavirus and its effect on toys and toy collecting?
We're all going to be in this together to some level or another. So, be smart, stay indoors. And if you're a toy collector, appreciate the stuff that you've currently got in your collection that you have ready access to. Go change your displays around. Set up little dioramas, every week this shelf becomes a different thing or something like that. I'm debating things like that right now just because, why not?
Yeah, why not? Dust your shelves, rearrange them.
Definitely dust your shelves. Mm-hmm.
Organize the collection. Yeah, especially if you're like you and me, right, where you have allergies. So.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, and I should start taking photos of some of my guys and posting them up on Twitter or something like that.
Yeah, do it.
I'm no shooting the galaxy or you with my photography skills, but I can put stuff together and share it.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Let's all be a community and try and have some fun with this thing for a while.
Yeah, let's try and have some fun with it. I mean, now's a good time if you're a toy collector to appreciate the toys that you do have, and like
because
you said
they'll
earlier,
be your last.
Don't say that. We don't want insight fear. There will be more toys. There will always be more toys. We might have to wait a little bit and be patient to get them, but toys are coming, and there are toys online. If you need to get your toy fix, order online. There are toys to be had, and I think if we do that, we stay focused on what's important and do our best to be safe and to keep others safe and healthy, then I think we'll get through this just fine.
Yep, agreed, 100%. And there's like 50 different Star Wars movies online on Disney Plus now, or you own at home, right? Go watch
exactly.
those.
Frozen 2 is on Disney Plus now.
Right,
early.
Frozen 2.
Yay! Yeah, the movie that has the exact same plot as The Rise of Skywalker.
Maybe I'll enjoy Frozen 2.
Maybe you'll love it. And I've also made it my quest to get through all of the Disney Pixar movies over the next few weeks. I started with Toy Story today, and
oh, wow.
You know what? I feel better already.
Oh yeah, well those movies are very sweet.
They are. Well, Tom, where can our listeners go to find you online?
Oh, I'm just on Twitter. I'm Woozlin Demon on Twitter. That's about it for me. I've posted like 3 times ever on Instagram, so I wouldn't bother there.
All right. Well, you know what? I am going to go and I think I'm going to unbox this Imperial Troop Transport, and now while I have some extra time here at home, I'm going to go ahead and start playing with that and see how I like it.
Film that. I want to watch you do it.
Yeah. All right. We'll do it.
All right. Nice chatting with you, Victoria.
You too, Tom. Take care. Be safe and stay well.
You too. Cheers.
If you aren't already, subscribe to the place it all started, the Victoria's Cantina YouTube channel, where I review new toys and showcase retro toys from the past. You can also follow us for news and updates on Facebook by looking up Victoria's Cantina, toy photography on Instagram at Victoria's Cantina, and a constant drip of toy-related and other random and nonsensical tweets on Twitter at Vic's Cantina. If you're so inclined, we are on Patreon. Gain greater access to Victoria's Cantina by becoming a Patreon Cantina patron. For as little as $1 a month, you'll help to keep the show going and also get exclusive content such as access to a private Twitter feed, early access to toy reviews, and behind-the-scenes featurettes. And if you can't, but you still want to help us out, one of the easiest and most helpful things you can do is leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts. It only takes a minute, so hit that 5-star rating and leave a note stating why you enjoy the show. It'll make us more visible on iTunes and help others to find our show. As always, I'm Victoria, and no matter where you're listening out in the galaxy, I'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Cantina Chatter podcast.